A very good morning, dear children. Today we are going to see the remaining part of the chapter number 1, Laws of Motion. So we have to see first of all, children, velocity time graph for uniform velocity. For this, one question is given in the textbook on the basis of this graph. So first of all, we will see this graph and then we will solve question. So this is graph for velocity versus time. Velocity is given in kilometer per hour and time is given in hours. So for scale is given for this graph, that is x-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 1 hour, and for y-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 10 kilometer per hour. So for this graph, they have mentioned here a train is moving with a uniform velocity of 60 kilometer per hour for 5 hours. Okay. The velocity time graph for this uniform motion is given, and on the basis of this we have to solve some questions. With the help of graph, how will you determine the distance covered by the train between 2 and 4 hours? So when we have to determine the distance, children, then that time we have to consider the formula for velocity, because velocity is related with distance. So velocity is equal to distance upon time. So in short, we can write this formula: V is equal to S upon T. So therefore S means distance is equal to V into T. So here time for 2 and 4 hours we have to calculate. So instead of T we can write, children, T2 minus T1, means V into T2 minus T1. So we have to put the value. So let us consider this graph, then we will understand. So we have to calculate here this velocity for 2 and 4 hours. Okay. So for 2 hours on x-axis, this 2 hours corresponds to point A, and that gives velocity for 2 hours, that is 60 kilometer per hour. And for 4 hours, this velocity is again 60 kilometer per hour. Okay. So we can calculate that velocity V is common for both, that is for 2 hours and 4 hours. So that will be 60 into, and T2 minus T1 means 4 minus 2, that is time. So 60 into 2, that is 4 minus 2 is 2. So 60 into 2, it will be 120 kilometer. So the distance covered by the train between 2 and 4 hours will be 120 kilometer. Let us see, children, second question. Is there a relation between the distance covered by the train between 2 and 4 hours and the area of a particular quadrangle in the graph? What is the acceleration of the train? So here area of ACDB is equal to area of rectangle ABDC. Means there is a relation between the distance covered by the train between 2 and 4 hours and the area of quadrangle, because both area are same only. That is area of ACDB and area of rectangle ABDC. Both areas are same. So it will be length into breadth. Okay, because formula of rectangle is length into breadth. So that is equal to AC into CD, because AC is the length of the rectangle and this CD is the breadth. Here we can take, instead of AC, BD also, because BD is also one of the length. Okay, and instead of CD we can write AB also, children. Anyone we can write. So that is equal to AC into CD. That is equal to 60 into 2, because AC distance or AC, the distance is given or length is given, that is 60 kilometer per hour. So you can write here 60 into CD is distance between 4 hours and 2 hours, that is 2. 4 minus 2, it will be 2. So therefore area of ACDB is equal to 120 kilometer. Okay, or we can say that, children, that is the distance covered by the train. So this area of ACDB or area of ABDC, this area is nothing but, children, distance covered by the train between 2 and 4 hours. Now we have to calculate here, children, acceleration of the train. Here acceleration of the train will come 0 because here initial velocity, okay, for the 2 hours it corresponds to 60 kilometer per hour, and the final velocity for 4 hours it is also 60 kilometer per hour, okay. But we know children formula of acceleration, that is acceleration is equal to v minus u upon t, and v minus u means 60 minus 60 upon time t, that is 2 hours again. So it will be, numerator will become 0. So due to that acceleration of the train will become 0. I hope children it is clear too. Now let us see children velocity time graph for uniform acceleration. The change in the velocity of a car in the specific time interval is given in this table. So let us consider this table as well as we will study this graph also children, and on the basis of that we have to solve some question answers. So time is given here in second and velocity is in meter per second. So time, when initial time is 0, then velocity is also 0. When time is 5 seconds, then velocity is 8 meter per second. When time is 10 seconds, then velocity is 16 meter per second. When time is 15 seconds, then velocity is 24 meter per second. When time is 20 seconds, then velocity is 32 meter per second. When time is 25 seconds, then velocity is 40 meter per second. When time is 30 seconds, then velocity is 48 meter per second. And when time is 35 seconds, then velocity is 56 meter per second. So from this table we will understand that children, here there is a difference between time, between two timings, that is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Then we will understand that children, there is a difference of 5 seconds in between two readings. And in case of velocity, there is a difference of 8 meter per second in between two readings. Okay. Now let us see children graph. So this time is given in second, that is on x-axis, and velocity is given on y-axis, that is in meter per second. So on x-axis we have taken here scale, that is 1 centimeter is equal to 5 seconds, and on y-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 8 meter per second. Okay, so from this graph we have to solve now some questions and answers. So in the graph children, the velocity changes by equal amounts in equal time intervals. So this graph shows uniformly accelerated motion. Okay, so how much does the velocity change in every 5 seconds? So here the velocity changes by 8 meter per second in every 5 seconds. Okay, now we have to find out the distance covered by the car in time interval between 10 seconds to 20 seconds. Okay, so when we have to calculate distance, then we have to use the formula for velocity. So velocity is equal to distance upon time. Now here we have to calculate distance, so we can convert this formula. Distance is equal to average velocity into time. So that velocity is equal to, so for 10th second, when we will study this graph children, or from table we can say on 10 second reading is 16 meter per second. Okay, so 16 plus and that 20 second corresponds to 32 meter per second. So for average velocity we can write here 16 plus 32 upon 2. Okay, 16 plus 32 upon 2 into timing is also 20 minus 10. Okay, timing is for 10 seconds and 20 seconds, so that will be 20 minus 10. Now 16 plus 32, it will be 48, and 48 upon 2 it will be 24 into 10. Okay, that subtraction will be 10, so 24 into 10. So therefore distance is equal to 240 meter. So we can say that children, the distance covered by the car in the time interval 10 seconds to 20 seconds will be 240 meter. Now let us see children equations of motion using graphical method. Okay, this is very important topic children for the point of your examination. So Newton studied motion of an object and gave three sets of equation, and that is called as Newton's equations of motion. Suppose an object is in motion along a straight line with initial velocity u and it has final velocity v in time t. So it shows acceleration a, that is small a, displacement s. Then the three equations of motion can be written as v is equal to u plus at. This relation is called as Newton's first equation of motion between velocity and time. Second, s is equal to ut plus half at square. This equation is called as Newton's second equation of motion between displacement and time. Now third, v square is equal to u square plus 2as. This equation is called as Newton's third equation of motion between displacement and velocity. Now let us see, children, all these equations one by one. We have to find out the Newton's first equation, second as well as third equation of motion using graphical method. Now let us see, children, equation describing the relation between velocity and time. So this graph shows change in velocity with time of a uniformly accelerated object. So this is the graph for velocity versus time. Okay. So here the object starts from point D in the graph with velocity u. So here this object D is there. Okay. This object is starting from point D. Okay. So that is with velocity u because that is the initial velocity of that object. Okay. Its velocity keeps increasing and after time t it reaches to point D. And after that this velocity reaches to point B. So the initial velocity of the object is equal to u is equal to OD. That is initial velocity is denoted by u and that object's initial velocity is OD, that is u. The final velocity of the object is equal to OC. Final velocity is OC and due to that it is small v. Now time is there, that is time is equal to t is equal to OE. Time is given, that is OE is the time, that is x-axis from point O to point E. Okay, the time is there and that is denoted by small t. Now let us consider the formula for acceleration. Acceleration A is equal to change in velocity upon time. So change in velocity means obviously there will be final velocity as well as initial velocity. So final velocity minus initial velocity upon time. So therefore A is equal to, here final velocity is given OC and initial velocity is OD. So OC minus OD upon T. So from that we can calculate the value of this OC minus OD. But from graph we can say that, children, OC minus OD is nothing but CD. So OC minus OD distance is nothing but CD distance. So therefore A is equal to, instead of OC minus OD we can write CD upon T. So therefore CD value will be CD is equal to A into T. That is equation number 1. Now we have to draw a line parallel to y-axis passing through the point D. This will cross the x-axis in point E. And then afterwards we have to draw a line parallel to x-axis. Okay, and it will pass through the point D. So there will be a cross of the line, that is BE at point A. Okay, so after drawing these lines we can say that, children, BE is equal to AB plus AE because A is the intersection point of line BE. So BE is equal to AB plus AE. That is equation number 2. Now from the graph we can say that, children, AB is equal to CD because there is a formation of square and we know, children, where all sides are equal, so AB is equal to CD. Okay, then AE is equal to OD. AE is equal to OD because there is a formation of rectangle and rectangles opposite sides are equal. So AE is equal to OD. Now BE distance is equal to OC distance. Means BE distance is equal to OC distance, means OC is equal to V only. Okay. So instead of BE we can write V, and instead of OD we can write U. Okay. So therefore CD is equal to 80, that is given from equation number 1. So therefore equation 2 will become V is equal to, means instead of BE we are writing now V is equal to, instead of AB we will write CD, plus instead of AE we can write OD. Okay. So therefore V is equal to CD plus OD, this equation we got. Therefore V is equal to CD is equal to 80, that is from equation number 1, plus OD is equal to U. OD distance is U, and therefore V is equal to U plus 80, and this equation is called as Newton's first equation of motion. Now next equation is equation describing the relation between displacement and time. So we have to consider same graph, that is velocity versus time graph. So suppose that an object has uniform acceleration A and it has covered distance S within time t. So from the graph, distance covered by the object during time or in time t is given by area of quadrangle DOEB. That is given by area of quadrangle DOEB. So we have to find out the area of this quadrangle, then only we can find out the distance, that is S. So therefore S is equal to area of quadrangle DOEB. But when you will see this quadrangle DOEB, children, then you will understand there is a combination of rectangle and triangle in the quadrangle. Okay. So we have to calculate first of all rectangle's area, then we have to calculate area, triangle's area, okay, or area of triangle, and then we can add them, and then we will get area of quadrangle DOEB. So therefore area of quadrangle DOEB is equal to area of rectangle DOEA, okay, plus area of triangle DAB. So therefore S is equal to rectangle's area we can find out with the formula length into breadth. But here length is given, that is OE, into breadth is AE. So AE into OE plus area of triangle. Area of triangle we can find out with the help of formula, children. Half into base into height. So here half into base is what for this triangle DAB, that is DA, and height is BA or AB. So half into AB into DA. But AE is what given, children? AE is U, because AE is parallel to OD, or AE is equal to OD, and OD distance is U only. Now OE is equal to T, that is time, and OE is equal to what? DA, because OE and DA, these are the parallel lines, okay, or length of the rectangle, both are the length, so it will be T only. Okay, AB is equal to, that is 80. Okay, so therefore AB is equal to 80, because AB corresponds to CD, and in the equation number 1, or Newton's equation number 1, we have calculated, children, CD is equal to 80. Now here AB is equal to CD, so due to that AB is equal to 80. Okay, so therefore this equation will become, therefore S is equal to U into T plus half into 80 into T. By solving this equation we will get, children, Newton's second equation of motion. S is equal to UT plus half AT square. This is the relation between, or this is the equation of motion, and it shows relation between displacement and time. I hope, children, it is clear to you. Now let us see children equation describing the relation between displacement and time. So from the graph we can determine children the distance covered by the time in time t from area of quadrangle DOEB. But this DOEB is a trapezium. Trapezium is the geometrical shape which has at least one pair of parallel lines. Okay, so we can use the formula for its area. So therefore distance S is equal to area of trapezium DOEB. Okay, so we can write his formula half into sum of the lengths of parallel sides into distance between parallel sides. So that is equal to half into here sum of the length of parallel lines, means we have to do addition of parallel lines. So here two lines are parallel, that is BE and OD. So OD is parallel to BE, so we can make his addition, that is OD plus BE into distance between parallel lines. So in between this there is a distance, that is OE, that is time, okay, into OE. Distance between parallel line is here OE, so into OE. So but from this we can say that children, from the graph OD is equal to U, BE is equal to V and OE is equal to T. So therefore S is equal to half into U plus V into T. That is equation number 3. But we know children acceleration A is equal to V minus U upon T. So with the help of this formula we can find out the value of T. Therefore T is equal to V minus U upon A. This is equation number 4. So we have to put this equation number 4 in equation 3. Therefore S is equal to half into U plus V into V minus U upon A. So therefore S is equal to V plus U in one bracket and another bracket V minus U upon 2A. Now this 2A will go to left hand side, therefore 2AS is equal to V plus U, V minus U. In one bracket V plus U and in another bracket V minus U. So therefore 2AS is equal to V square minus U square. Okay. So therefore V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. Because this negative U square, when it will come to left hand side, then it will be positive. Therefore V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. And this equation is called as Newton's third equation of motion. I hope children it is clear to you. Now there are some points to remember. The velocity of an accelerated object changes with time. Now the change in velocity can be due to change in the direction or magnitude of the velocity or both. So there is a change in velocity of the object due to their direction or due to their magnitude, or sometimes due to both also, means magnitude as well as direction. Now we have to see next topic, that is uniform circular motion. So for this we have to consider the tip of a second hand of a clock. What can you say about its velocity and speed? So when we will observe the tip of this second hand of a clock, then the speed of the tip is constant, but direction of its displacement and therefore its velocity is constantly changing. As the tip is moving along a circular path, its motion is called as uniform circular motion. As the tip of the second hand is moving in a circular path, and due to that such type of motion is called as uniform circular motion. In the environment or in our day-to-day life also children, we are looking many such examples of uniform circular motion. Now let us do one activity children. Draw a rectangular path as shown in the figure. Okay. Then we have to place the tip of your pencil on the middle of any side of the square, and then we have to trace the path. Now we have to note down how many times you have to change the direction while tracing the complete path. Okay. Then afterwards we have to do this action for pentagonal, path also. And we have to note down the number of times which direction we have taken and what change will be there. If we will increase the number of sides of the polygon is here, that is pentagon, hexagon or octagon, and make it infinite, then how many times we will change the direction and what will be the change of the path, okay, or what will be the change in shape of the path. So when we will increase the number of sides, we have to keep changing direction more and more times, okay. And when we increase the number of sides to infinity, the polygon becomes a circle. Like this, polygon will become circle. Means instead of pentagon, hexagon or octagon, when we will change path many times, then we will observe here there is a change in direction many times, and due to that, that polygon will become circle. So such type of diagram you can see on this screen also, children. When we are tracing the path, then what happens? There is a formation of circle. Now let us see definition for uniform circular motion. When a body moves in a circular path with uniform speed, its motion is called as uniform circular motion. If an object is moving along a circular path, has radius small r and it takes time small t, then it comes back to its starting position. Then due to that, its speed can be determined with the help of formula, that is speed is equal to circumference, okay, because from initial point, that object is coming to final point, means they are forming here circumference. So speed formula will be circumference upon time, and speed is denoted by here v is equal to circumference formula is 2 pi r and upon t. So speed formula will be 2 pi r upon t. Now let us do one activity, children. Determining the direction of velocity in uniform circular motion. So for this we have to take one circular disc and a 5 rupee coin. Take a circular disc and put a 5 rupee coin at a point along its edge. Okay. Then make the disc move around its axis by putting a pin through it. When the disc is moved at a higher speed, the coin will be thrown off. Okay. So when we are moving that disc at a high speed, then coin will be thrown off. Then note the observation in which it is thrown off. Okay. So we have to note the observation, means we have to find out that direction for this throwing the coin. Okay. And this action we have to do for 2 to 3 times. Okay. So that we have to repeat this action, placing the coin at different points along the edge of a circle and observe the direction in which the coin is thrown off. So we have to repeat this action again and again, that this is moving and again that coin is thrown off. So when we will observe this direction, then we will understand that, children, the coin will be thrown off in the direction of the tangent which is perpendicular to the radius of disc. So here direction of the tangent. Tangent means there is a straight line. Okay, straight line that is attached to the circle, that is called as a tangent. So when that coin is thrown off, then there the direction of the coin is tangent which is perpendicular to the radius of the disc. So whichever radius is there of that radius, on that radius this tangent will be perpendicular. Okay, I hope, children, it is clear to you. Thank you, children, for watching the video and for your attention.